Push him back. Push him back.
Now a man who really stepped up last year. This is Matt Breida. He'll have a first down past the 40. There he goes left side. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Matt Breida, his third touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A nice start to the drive, picking up 12 yards there and a very quick first down. 12 yards the pickup there, good for a Raven first.
And that was a nice strong run by the guy they call the field general.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. This is the rookie from Oklahoma State, Justice Hill. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Move. 3 down, 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down, go.
They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Jackson from the shotgun. Flushed out right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Carl Lawson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now here's Ross. Oh, he nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Get that ball. Get that ball. He's coming. Double up. He's coming.
On 2nd down, a run with Breida. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Let them know, let them know. Let them know, let them know. Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
Here you go. 93, 52, 93, 44, 44. There you go.
On third down, a run from Breida. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a fourth down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Watch 52. Watch 52. 52's the mic. Ready? Check 50. Go. Check 52's the mic. Tighten up. Tighten up. Pull it together.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of 2. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10.
No. Check that. Check that.
Throwing again. Jackson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Being chased out left. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Set, hut, Henry.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram, he goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield, although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great veteran presence. Mark Ingram is behind Jackson. Ingram now in his 9th NFL season. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. This time, Jackson will throw it. They complete it to Hill. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. 2nd quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. 4 receivers in the formation here. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. 2nd and 3.
Let's go one more.
They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
And 3 yards to go.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. From the gun, Jackson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And he's got some space here. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Now Bullock to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Makes the score. Bengals 14. Ravens 0.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
57 to Mike. I got one.
Jackson operating from the gun. That's pulled in by the rookie from Notre Dame, Miles Boykin. 16 yards on that one at a Raven first.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
First red zone chance now for the Ravens. It's 1st and 10 at the 14.
Mike's 57. 57's Mike. Twist. 57. Mike, 57. Hey, pick your game up.
Now it's Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Nick Boyle, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Tucker with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
At the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Let's see what you got. Check 3, check 3.
Regular. Hands up.
Now it's Breida. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Matt Breida with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bengals strike quickly here for 6 points. And oh, it's no good. For the 2nd time now in this first half, he's missed an extra point. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
The one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go. Hey, Mike 52.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jackson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Ross on the return. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Watch the screen. Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
They'll start on the ground with Breida. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And they finally take him down, but not before he reaches the 43. A big play there for the Bengals. 43 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 1st down, here's Breida. Matt Judon there to bring him down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
2-2. Move. Slam.
They run with Breida. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Hands up. Heavy. Lead. Jim. 368. Regular. Hey, Alpha.
Despite only needing 1, Dalton to throw. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down. And this will be a long field goal if the skies were clear. But here in the rain and the elements, they'll go for it on 4th.
Watch twins.
They'll try on 4th. Here's Dalton. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
368.
Here's Breida. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Big series right here. We got to step it up. Hatchet. Tight up.
93, 52, 93, 44.
This is Breida. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Matt Breida on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Extra point up and good by Bullock. 2nd quarter in Cleveland. And early on, the driver's seat belongs to the Seahawks. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Jackson down. Throwing again. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line.
You're trailing. You're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Now a give running left is Breida. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. From the left hash, this from 37. And Bullock will put this one through. And that lead will move from 20 up now to 23. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. To throw is Jackson. From the gun, he'll throw. He's going deep. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens get a bit closer. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead's down to 2 scores now at 16. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they'll have good field position here as he's out of bounds up at about the 34-yard line.
At their own 34-yard line.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
No.
Regular. Check 24.
The final act of the first half. Dalton. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of his first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
and I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive, and we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too, and they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Throwing on second down, Jackson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Miles Boykin with his first career NFL touchdown as they are able to cut into that lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will... be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you've got it going, and you also think at any moment I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Dalton off play action. He's got his man here. It's Green. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
Hands up. Lead.
Mike, 49.
From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Got his man. It's Eifert. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Almost unstoppable on the ground there, as that one is good for 39.
Hey, we haven't been around the entire time football's been played, but we have studied our history, and there have been some great backs who've been accused of running out of bounds to protect themselves. Well, back in the day, many people didn't like that. But nowadays, take care of the football, show some intelligence, live to fight another.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bengals, they widen their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
He's not going to get me.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Jackson dancing to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Mike, 57. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go.
From the gun, Jackson. Snead's got it. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears trying to go for it on fourth. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. Now, would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
Hands up! Hey, 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 hey! Lead!
Watch the curl! Watch the curl! 6 guys! Check 6 guys! Check 26, check 26!
Check, regular.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And his throw is incomplete. He was looking for Matt Breida out of the backfield. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Here's a handoff left side to Breida. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. They run again with Breida. And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11th. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good 3-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
At their own 32-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held him to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Let's go, Heavy.
Operating from the gun, Jackson. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
And attempted a deep ball there, they didn't get it. But boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back.
They do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th.
57's Mike. Yeah, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball right here. 57.
Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. And it is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
44. 44. There you go. Regular.
Now a give to Breida. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. He'll get this into the hands of Breida. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the 4th. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. On the handoff, this is Breida. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Boy, that's a 5-yard loss. 4th down now. Bullock's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hogs and picking passes off.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Ravens on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carlos Dunlap, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
You can't stop me.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. And to give this time to the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards.
44. There you go.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Andy Dalton. And that is incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, and when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
You ain't doing nothing today. 56. Mike, 56.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Sean Williams. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Hands up. 2 by 2. Move. Ladies. Ice.
Running out of the gun here, Breida. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Whip. Watch the whip.
Check. 2 by 2. Move.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Hot. Ladies.
Mike, 49. 65.
From midfield here, Dalton. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down. Green last year had the lowest numbers of his career output-wise, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns. But, of course, there was a reason for that. He was battling a toe injury the second half of the season. And, boy, did the Bengals miss his presence. They limped to the finish line, losing 7. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now, there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
Here's Bullock now for the extra point. Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36. Buying time to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
So the face mask gets him a free 15 to start the drive. Dalton here from the gun. That'll be complete to Breida. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Dalton. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Jackson now. And he's got Snead. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
15 yards. That's good for Baltimore. First down. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. He'll run it. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Come on, set. Pittsburgh. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys. Joker. Arvin.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Tucker with the extra point, and that trims the lead a bit, but still standing at 26 points. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. A run there on first down going nowhere as he stopped right at the 25. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Green brings it in. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down. Oh, passing it. Dalton looking for his tight end, Eifert, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A very solid gain of 27. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, little insult to injury here late in the game. And this one, a 41-yard attempt. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call him your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
One last shot for Jackson. Now a desperation throw deep. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Cincinnati, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, the loss will